Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something here. There are plenty of perks at the Walt Disney World Resort. There are lots of freebies that you can get if you just know how to do it. But most people don't talk about it online because we know that the minute we show you how to do that, it will go away. Because people will then abuse what is a good thing. And so we're always careful, right? That there are ways to get in the parks for less money. There are ways to do things for less. There's ways to go places you didn't know you could go. I'm not talking about urban exploring. Don't do that. But there are some things that are so good we just don't talk about them because we know that if Disney finds out, they'll wipe it out. Let me give you an example that's not monetarily related. We know, I guarantee you folks, we have the list of every reference that still exists for Splash Mountain and for Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear. We know where it's at. We know where those things are. We know where they still have zippity doodah in some form or another. Do you think we come out and say it? No, because some little, what do you want to say? Some little precocious, fresh out of college person, cast member at Disney, will go find it and take it away. So we don't say, hey, by the way, they at the bathroom near Columbia Harbor House, there's still a, no, we don't do that. Ron, that was a reference for you. Kim Morrissey has gone there and spilled the mouse beans from people. Orlando local who can't afford to go to Disney Parks shares how she experiences all the magic for free. Oh no, Kim, don't do it. Kim Morrissey shares the free or inexpensive experiences available to locals at the Walt Disney World Resort, often for $10 to $20 per day. Oh, Kim, you've gone there. Here we go, folks. Park tickets, Mickey ears, dining experiences, collectible pins, and churros. Oh, don't tell them about the churros. It all adds up quickly during a trip to the Walt Disney World Resort. However, one local creator is on a mission to highlight the free and relatively inexpensive offerings spread across the more than 40 square mile vacation destination, which is to say, these will all be going away very shortly. Orlando resident Kim Morrissey moved to Florida about a year ago. While the 27-year-old says she's always loved Disney movies and TV shows, she's only become obsessed with the parks in the last 5 years. Disney influences and stuff started popping up on my page. The restaurant worker tells people, I just started falling in love with living vicariously through those creators. I always wonder too, like if you're a restaurant worker and you're a starting off influencer, starting off vlogger, blogger, like how does People Magazine just find you and say, you want an article about you? Let's do that. Well, okay, she's got it. Here we go. As someone on a strict budget, visiting parks isn't currently an option for Morrissey, although she plans to purchase a budget-friendly Pixie Pass when she has the means to do so. Until then, she decided to start making a series of videos for people like her, people who live near Disney, but who can't afford to go to the parks but still want to experience all the magic. In many of her videos, Morrissey starts her adventures by parking at Disney Springs, Disney World's outdoor shopping, dining, and entertainment complex. Unlike other areas of the resort that require a park, dining, or hotel reservation, Disney Springs offers free parking outside of peak season. You can see here, here's what her stuff is like, okay? Let's play it. Here we go.
The Contemporary Resorts, and I am here to watch fireworks, so come with me.
I parked in Disney Springs and took a resort bus over to the Contemporary Resort. This is a monorail resort, which means you get to see the fireworks at night from Magic Kingdom. I had not yet had a Mickey bar yet this year, so I decided to go grab a Mickey bar and have it out on the viewing deck. Personally, I prefer watching the fireworks from the Polynesian, but anywhere you get to see this magical finale is worth it, in my opinion. So,
all right, let's just pause there. Okay, so here's the deal. MJ, I go to you first. You know this. Ron knows this. I know this. And we know 100 other tricks like this. The reason we don't put these out there is because as soon as it becomes popular, okay, if it becomes popular and lots of people start taking the buses from Disney Springs to other places and then going and doing the fireworks and doing blah, 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 and she's giving away a lot bigger secrets than this one, we're sticking with this, folks, because we're not going to promote the others that actually we're like, oh, please don't take that away. MJ, I don't think this is a great idea for any influencer to go out there and be like, hey, the super secret way that you get 80% off, here it is, everybody. Like that's going to just end it. What say you? Am I being too much about this? Maybe this is the right thing to do. Maybe everybody needs to know these tricks.
I mean, to an extent, because it's like the way Disney has the way Disney has done things in the last 10 years is almost forcing people to give away the secrets, if you will. But yeah, it's just a matter of time if this goes viral and everyone starts copycatting. But then there's the people that are very timid and they won't take that risk, and then they will do things the legitimate way. I don't know how much of an audience that this young lady is going to reach. To each their own. Everybody picks their streamers that they like to watch.
Well, she got a People magazine article that ought to do it. I mean, I didn't get one of those. Did you get one of those?
They could boost her publicity that way, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I don't know. It's just it's a matter of personality and taste, and you know, I just think that you could give people a couple of tips and tricks to an extent, so you don't ruin it for everyone. Because if too many people abuse it, all it takes is one rotten apple, and then everything else goes to waste. So
well, watch this. There's a type of ticket that exists that if you have a family member who qualifies for said ticket in the entire nation, there's a way to, I think, abuse that. And if everybody knew how to do it, it would stop it. And that's why we never talk about it. I could come out and say, people, you can get tickets for 50, 60% off. I can do that. I can tell you how to get maybe even cheaper than that. And if I do, with the kind of signal we have, lots of people will start doing that. And I guarantee the next year, Disney will come out and say, and that's over.
Well, that's what happened with DAS. People were like, oh, well, you just go and if you pretend and you just start, you know, making up stories, then you don't have to wait in line and just act like you got something wrong with you or whatever. And then people abused the heck out of that. Disney caught on to that, and they made it nearly impossible for anyone to legitimately qualify for DAS. And now we have the mighty lightning lane.
All right, let's talk about that, Ron. That's a great point. The DAS situation, for those who don't know, that's for people who have a disability. How do they get to, deal with the lines? How do they get on the rides? People found out that there were ways to use that, and suddenly there was stuff online on Reddit, on the various forums, explaining what to say in order to qualify, sometimes very unfairly, for that service. And ultimately, Disney had to shut it down, and the replacement is terrible. So, Ron, this is the worry I have when people go out and start, telling the loopholes for everybody to hear.
It's definitely a worry. I don't think the DAS situation became overwhelmingly bad until Disney started charging for what was once complimentary, which used to be Fast Pass. I worked at Disney. I was a cast member when part of my job was to give away free Fast Passes, and it was not a big deal. It was a great incentive.
Were you there during the Year of a Million Dreams, or what?
No, when I worked for Disney Vacation Club, one of our incentives was free Fast Passes.
I'm with you.
Add six of them or whatever. It was a great incentive, and people, it was a great, it wasn't the best system in the world, but people certainly liked it. And the wonderful thing about that system is it was very easy as a Disney cast member to go and compare that with something going on in a different park where they would charge $300 or $400 for that, per person, that privilege of being able to skip lines. So, and of course that doesn't exist anymore, is being able to make that comparison. That there is no Disney difference in a good way. So, but as far as, a trick like parking at Disney Springs and then riding a bus to the, to one of the resorts, I don't think that's too big of a deal to reveal, because to be honest, if you're a Disney fan and you live in Orlando and you wanted to go, you would find that out anyway. Willing
to actually say on here, I think most people know about that,
right? And that's why, and we won't go further than that as as far as certain things. And of course, there are things to do at Disney World, relatively not super expensive, that are still fun, that anybody can participate in. For example, a lot of people don't even know you can go horseback riding at Disney World. There is a fee. It's not the biggest fee in the world. It's like, going horseback riding anywhere else, about the same price, maybe a little bit more.
Is it not 45? Is that how much it is these days? For 30 minutes an hour?
It could range between 50 to 85.
Oh,
and
it's went up since I
it's
looked last,
available,
yeah.
and it's available in various places. Like if you want to do a horse and carriage, horseback riding, like he said, archery, there's so much you can do, but you need a reservation or they just won't let you in that specific resort property.
So there's plenty to do that way of obviously getting around Walt Disney World. Just, you know, I think it could be dangerous if way too many people that were not staying on the property started using recreation at the different resorts and stuff, that it would get shut down. And it's very possible to do that. I, as a cast member, I worked working as a lifeguard. That was part of recreation, right? That was so that whole field is something that
you ran off all the pool hoppers, did you? Oh man, Ron, you felt bad.
Look, I'll be honest with you. If you know what goes on at Disney pools when a whole lot of guests aren't there, you don't want to go to them anyway. So it's not.
Don't do it, folks. Don't get your swimming suit in a towel. Don't
gator mating season, Ron?
There are gators out there, that's for sure. Look, but I will say this. You could also influence people to do the wrong thing. And this happened a lot in the 2010s after River Country closed. Of course, that's a construction site now for a new resort, but there were a lot of those urban explorer types who would take advantage of, I can get around property and then I'll make my way back to River Country and then I'll sneak under or over a fence or don't do that kind of stuff. You know, there's what I have noticed, and a lot in the last 5 years, is just really awful behavior from guests a lot of times. Jumping off the safari ride to go to the restroom or doing it straight in the park at Hollywood Studios or what, like it's just things are.
But that reflects on the cast members and their training, because after COVID, things got really out of hand. They started spiraling more and more out of hand. People are coming in with less respect to the property, more vandalism, more guests jumping out of ride vehicles, less people adhering to rules and regulations on the property. And I just feel like that has a lot to do with cast member training.
Well, it's not just that, but it's also the price. I mean, when people are paying, people start to feel very privileged when they are like, okay, I've just spent $10,000 on a 5-day vacation. Rather than it used to be $3,000 for the same thing. There's a lot of that going on at Walt Disney World, and that's why you have somebody like this who goes, hey, I moved to Orlando, I want to do as much as I can for free, and I'm just going to share it with everybody, because she obviously hasn't been here long enough to know, hey, you don't spill the tea, otherwise you're going to lose the tea.
Yeah, and I want to be careful about her because, Miss Morrissey had probably not much in terms of influence. And so this was kind of a benign little thing. She's just sharing the ideas. And then people, sticks this out there where it's going to change things. As I get ready to read the last paragraph, let me just tell you this, okay? Everybody will understand this as soon as I give this anecdote. And again, I'm not telling one that's going to shut down anything or change the perks or, and it's not even a monetary thing. This is one of those where well, I'll just tell you. So maybe 10 years ago, there was a deal where if you yelled at the Toy Story characters, Andy's coming, the Toy Story characters would know to pose as if they were slumped over, or they would pretend to be actual toys. Man, that's cute, right?
Yeah.
The problem is it got out on the internet, as it was going to do. And what happened? It had to be stopped. Because the Toy Story toys can't walk 5 feet now without hearing, Andy's coming, 5 more feet, Andy's coming. Same thing with Turtle Talk with Crush. It's cute, right? When he says, yo, dude, what's your favorite food? And somebody says, I like turtles. And he makes the funny face, right? It's not funny anymore if every single show is, yo, what do you eat, dude? And a grown-up yells, he likes turtles. It's not fun anymore. And so that question has to be taken out. So I don't think Miss Morrissey is trying to do anything wrong here. For the biggest perks, nothing gets Disney to shut down something faster than, hey, guess what? There's a secret free way to do this. Disney will very quickly be like, we'll shut that down, I tell you. Well, that's not going to happen anymore under my watch. So here's the last paragraph, though. Admittedly, it can be hard for Morrissey to watch other creators enjoy the offerings inside the parks. but she says she's close enough to get her Disney fix for now. Quote, sometimes I'll go to a resort and watch the fireworks so I kind of get a little glimpse of the castle. I'm just holding on to that hope that one day I'll be in the park when I save up enough money. I think she can do that. I think after this People magazine article, that's not going to be a problem. Okay. But be careful, folks, about putting out there in a big way some of the ways that, if there's a discount for the elderly, don't go out there and be like, you don't have to say your real age. You can pretend to be elderly, because then, the old people lose their coffee the next day.
I'm a 3-year-old.
Oh, you don't. I have a whole story on that one.
We're not going down that path. Oh my gosh.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.